What's up everyone, it's your boy Mix here. In today's video we're gonna be talking about how to improve your tattoo lining. So I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you're either a beginner in tattooing or you're interested in starting to tattoo. Well and good, first things first, if you're starting out, learn how to use one of these things, one of these bad boys. This is a coil machine. A coil machine is gonna train your hand better than all the other machines out there, rotaries. Fuck that stuff and focus on a coil. Now, I can't stress it enough. If it's really gonna train your hand to be durable, dexterous, practice with a coil. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into the tips. Alright, so if you're an artist or a tattooer, you probably create your own designs. You may or you may not. It's not a big deal, man. Like if you just want to copy something off the net, I don't really mind it. I do it sometimes. I do create my own, but yeah, if you're an artist, you're probably gonna be creating like sketches, right? And then after you sketch, you make the sketch darker before you go to ink. When you hit the ink, that's when it's permanent. So you kind of don't want to mess up your inking when it comes to your designing, right? Or in your artworks. It's similar to tattooing, wherein you don't want to mess up anywhere in the tattoo, especially the lining. So, practice with your drawings. When you're inking your designs, make sure not to mess up. That is a very important thing. Now, if you're a digital type of artist and you use a tablet, like this, I use Procreate. There's a bunch of other programs you can use, but in Procreate you can create a lot of designs. Now you create using a pencil tool, blah blah blah, make the design. After you do the pencil tool, you need to use an inking tool to create the framework or the line framework of your design. So simple, right? Yeah, but the thing with digital stuff is you have a habit of undoing stuff. So if you really want to improve, try to not mess up and try to not do too many undos or redos on your tablet and see what kind of stencil or design you come out with. That's really good practice, though it's harder to do with a digital medium. With the more traditional stuff, it's easier. Now another thing, and the most important thing you should be doing, especially if you're starting out, is creating your own stencils. What do I mean by creating your own stencils? Well, I mean doing basically what I've been doing for 5 years. You got this thing, this is your stencil paper or your carbon paper. You print out a design, slap that piece of paper over this thing, and start tracing them. And behind the paper is your stencil. Now, the reason why you should be using a pen and not a printer that automatically prints a stencil is, if you're just using a thermal printer and just slapping that thing on, you're wasting a lot of valuable practice time, because creating stencils is good practice for practicing your lining. I've been doing it for 5 years because I am a cheap bastard. I do not want to spend on a thermal printer, and well, no, I don't mind spending on the printer. I don't want to be spending on like getting a bunch of these, because once you use a thermal printer, one page of this is not anymore usable. Although it might be cheap for people in other countries, right? But in the Philippines, the way we charge our tattoos is like dirt cheap compared to everywhere else in the world. But our materials cost the same as you guys. So you gotta be a little cost efficient here. Alright, so create your own stencils free-handed. Use a pen, slap that design over, trace on it, make sure it's perfect, because whatever your stencil looks like, guaranteed it's gonna affect what your final tattoo looks like. If your stencil sucks, then your tattoo might suck. That's just a reality, especially when you're starting out, or even when you're already a professional or something. Although when you're a professional, if you're still messing with your stencils, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Alright, but yeah, practice with stencils. I have a ton of them. Right? This is all in the month of December. This is like not even December, November. Like I have more there for December and November, but I'm just showing you a few so that you can see that I really do hand stencil my stencil. Okay, so before we get into the real-time tattooing where I show off how to do the tattoo lining, I want to talk about one key, or I think maybe like two key things that you should be doing when you're lining. So this is a really helpful tip. Well, 3 helpful tips, sorry, not 2. Number 1, find a grip that you're comfortable with. Now, I suggest getting a 30mm grip. That is the standard-ish for like people with big hands or large hands. Because, I don't know, it just feels perfect when you do lines or shades. 30mm, that's like the diameter of it. Some people use a 33 or a 35. Now, if you have a smaller hand, you might be more inclined to using a 25 or a 20, but standard 30. Try 30. I tried smaller ones before, like thinking, oh, this is kind of like a marker. But no, it's my lining was way better when it had a little bit more grip to it, you know, like a thicker grip. Now, another thing that you should be doing is, you see this thing? Like, I'll just use where's my Apple Pencil? I'll use my Apple Pencil as an example. Just imagine it's a, I don't know, like a pen type machine or a coil machine grip. You're holding it like this, right? Now, you see this part of your palm or your hand? This should be resting on something while you're lining. The reason why is it creates like an anchor or a support wherein it kind of levels your whole hand and makes it stable. If you're not putting it down on something, if you're just floating, if you're doing this, that's gonna mess up your lines. It's really hard to line like that. I've seen people line like this. I don't know how they do it. You have to do it like this. Like your palm is on something and then you create a line. You can either turn your wrist, move your wrist to create the line, or you can move your whole hand. Another thing, and also an important thing, is you want your elbow or your forearm resting on something. A lot of people don't do this. It's not a necessity because sometimes you have to line like this, like it's floating. If you can do that, well and good, but if you can't, which I can't, like I don't like doing that, I have it rested on something. I normally rest it on my knee. Oops, my bad. I lift my knee up a little bit and then I rest my elbow on it. And that's when I do my stencils. Like I go like this. My palm is on something, my elbow is on something, and then I create my line. If you do that, if you anchor your elbow and your palm on a surface, you're gonna notice that your lines are gonna be way better and more stable, and it won't be going up and down too much. You won't be lifting the machine as much. If your palm is down, you'll see it, you'll notice it. And if you do it like that, it means that your lines are going to be more consistent and you have to do less reps. Meaning you don't have to go through it, you don't have to sculpt your lines too much. You can get it in one. Although line sculpting, I do that, I'm guilty of doing that. It's not a bad thing, you just have to be careful. Sorry. You just have to be careful not to cut your client or your friend or your customer, whatever, the person you're tattooing. Let's get into the real-time video. Hacha! Alright, so here we are. I'm doing a American traditional mermaid to showcase lining to everybody. I'm using a coil machine with a 7RS attached to it, a round shader, because that's how I create bold lines. You can use a bigger liner like an 11RL or a 13RL to create thick lines, but I use a round shader. So, you may have noticed that I'm not doing a full curve line. I am breaking it up and slowly building it up because, well, curve lines are a little bit harder to do when you're lining and tattooing, right? You may have noticed it by now. Also, I'm going at a slow pace because number one, I'm using a round shader. Sometimes if you pull too fast with a round shader, it's not really gonna make a thick, packed line. You're gonna notice there are gonna be like drag lines or like needle lines. That's because you didn't give enough time on the skin when you're pulling your line. So do it slowly and you'll have a bolder, darker line. You may have noticed that I did not pull a huge line as well. I did not go from the top of the chest of the mermaid all the way down to the tail. I'm doing it by segments because I feel like it's safer to do it in segments. And it's also better to do it in segments. You screw up less of the time. Remember, this video is to help out beginners, so this is just my take on it. You don't need to do one super long line and have a chance that your hand might cramp up and you might like make a mistake. Do it in segments. You see it right there again. I could have just pulled that line all the way down, but I stopped and gave it like like a centimeter, and I just like lifted my hand a little bit and then lined it down again. As you can see, it's still a straight solid line. You can build up your lines as well. You don't need to just do one line pass. You can do several passes, just don't cut the skin. So that's why a lot of people say just do a one line pass. Honestly, one line pass is better, but you can build up your lines and it will still look nice. Just be careful. Alright, here you can see me using another coil machine attached with a 5RL or round liner. It's a small round liner because these are lines inside the design. So when you're creating an American thread tattoo, normally you want a thicker outline. So yeah, 5RL, it's thin enough and it's not necessarily too thin, but it's a good liner needle for simple lines. Also, try to practice with designs with scales because there are a lot of curves. So you can practice doing curve lines, like small curve lines when you're lining. So if you're starting out and you have friends or I don't know, like offer people like to do, I don't want to say Japanese kois, but yeah, you can do Japanese kois because they're very intricate. Number one, they have a lot of lines in them and they have a lot of scales in them, like owls or koi fishes, dragons, snakes. A lot of these things have those plenty lines wherein you can practice doing it one scale at a time. You may have noticed that I also stretch the skin with my other hand. Now, you don't need to stretch it too much. You have to judge it based on your client or your customer's skin elasticity. If their body part or if their arm is toned and you notice that you don't need to stretch their skin too much, then don't stretch it too much. Just like line through it, stay calm, relaxed, and breathe. It's not that stressful really. Once you have the once you get the groove of like doing the lining, it's like breathing basically. It's like you're just drawing. So relax. A really good tip is if you listen to music when you tattoo, play music that relaxes you and calms you down. I know it sounds kind of lame, but it really does help. If you're comfortable, then your lining is comfortable. On Spotify, I have my own tattoo lining playlist. That's actually what it's called. It's called tattoo lining because I play it specifically when I have to tattoo something that's very stressful, like small pin-up faces or something like a mandala or something. Or even like those minimal tattoos that if you go to my Instagram, you're gonna see hundreds of these minimal tattoos that girls love to get, but they're stressful because you can't mess up. So play something relaxing and just breathe whenever you're pulling your lines. You might have read somewhere that you like holding your breath is good for creating better lines. No, that's bullshit. It doesn't work that way. Just like breathe normally and you'll do fine. And here we go. I'm done with all the scales. You can see the difference now. It's like the RS outline is a bit thicker than the inner scales. That's how it should look. I think I'm gonna be showing you a quick clip on a finished mermaid lining thing. So it's gonna happen in a few seconds. And there you go, I've lined up everything and she's done. You might have noticed that I screwed up a line on the hair. I was actually fixing the curve of that hair part. You see the one under her arm, it's kind of thick. It's okay to do that because that part of the design is going to be shaded in. So don't be afraid to make small mistakes, and don't stress out about it because those small mistakes can be fixed. Like this is what it's looked like. You see that curve under her arm? You don't see that line anymore because it's shaded in. There you go. Alright, so I hope this video helped everyone out. Hopefully your lining improved after watching this and you applied whatever I said. Leave it in the comments below if it worked for you. If you have other things to tell me, like advise me or like share to other people, leave it in the comments. I'm not saying to follow exactly what I do, but I'm just showing you and I'm trying to help you figure out how you're gonna be tattooing. Tattooing is very subjective, it's very personal. You're gonna find your own way to do things, and when you find it, it's gonna come natural. Alright, so the next tutorial that I'm gonna be putting out there is basic shading techniques. If you're interested in that, subscribe, alright? Like this video, subscribe, hit that bell so that you're notified, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.